Okay, so when we're talking about expanding a tonic area, what we're talking about is there's kind of two levels of analysis that happen. And one of them is where we label each chord, right? Like what we did here. Another layer of analysis that we sometimes do, and sometimes we call it contextual analysis, is just to kind of look at broader picture, what's happening. And in that, you can say, okay, this whole thing is tonic area. And we would say this whole thing is dominant area in this case. This is sometimes called Schenkerian analysis. Schenker is a little different than this. It's much more detailed than that. That was like a crazy small way to summarize what Schenkerian analysis is. If you want to get into Schenkerian analysis, Google it. There's all kinds of crazy symbols they use in Schenkerian analysis, and frankly, I kind of hate it. But a lot of people really love it. So we're not going to talk about Schenkerian analysis. But I do want to talk about when we're working in a tonic area, how can we establish tonic and make it feel like it's kind of this general tonic area? There's a couple different ways. First of all, use tonic a lot, right? That makes sense. Use tonic and inversions of tonic. Use 1, use 1/6, use 1/6/4. Stepping through 1 to 1/6 to 1/6/4 can be an effective thing. Like all three of those chords in a row. It doesn't have to be just that, but that's one way you can do it. Use chords that don't have strong tendencies. So chords like 1, 6, 2, and sometimes 4 are good for establishing a tonic area. All of those chords can work well. And even 5. Now you might think that sounds nuts, because how don't we need 5 to establish the dominant area? And we do. We'll need that to establish the dominant area for sure. But 5 can work to establish the tonic area. If it's just in passing 5/1, like 1/5/1, that can be totally fine to establish a tonic area. In fact, that 5 can really help establish the tonic area by pulling us back to 1 fairly quickly. As long as we don't dwell on 5 too much. You just want to avoid any strong pull to dominant and then stay in dominant without going back to 1. We'll look at more examples of how that works in practice shortly. But let's jump to a new video and let's talk about dominant next.